think by now you all know the topic for this session. Love. Yeah. Yeah, love plays an important part in all the levels, from human love, divine love. From human love, we learn at least to love the other person, and then expand it to families, and expand it to your friends, and then expand to the entire creation from using all these techniques which our masters have been giving us. So, thank you. Thank you all for joining. So, and I have few thoughts to share. I was just going through few blogs as I was trying to prepare, and I heard of this incident from Swamiji in one of the videos. So once Master was there, and he was meeting all these people, and a disciple of different, I think a different master or devotee. He came, dear Master. He had brought a full paper full of questions to ask him. So he started asking the first question. Master said, "Love God." Okay, this person was okay. Then he went to next question, tried to narrate it, and Master said, "Love God." And then, okay, he thought maybe he's trying to communicate or he did not understand anything. Then he went to the third question. And when he tried to started asking this question, Master said, with much more power of love, he said, "Love God." And by this time, then Master walked away. So the devotee, this person who was trying to ask all these questions, thought maybe sometimes saints also are not totally in this world. That's the way he thought of it. But Swamiji explains this, that many times there's so many questions, doubts, and somehow by loving God, all of that gets cleared. Otherwise, our brain can come up with 1,000 more questions, more complex situations, and place in front of you if you start only being on the thinking level. So how devotion and love can cruise you through the darkness and through the doubts many times is what referring to. I think I also remembering this. I think this story of Ramakrishna, I think said was maybe Vivekananda ji, yeah, about asking his master to pray for him to get a job or something. And each time Ramakrishna ji goes into this meditation, all he remembers is being in that state of bliss, and he can't think of any other questions. And then maybe once he also gives Vivekananda ji this touch, and he's in so much joy, and he asks him, so he's in front of this God contact, and then he comes out of it. And then Ramakrishna ji asks Vivekananda ji, so did you ask God for your job or whatever you're thinking of? And Vivekananda ji understands how in the state of joy and this love and bliss, how all the other things floods away. And how I think we all would have experienced in any good meditation sometimes, all these things that was troubling us for weeks, suddenly the burden lifts off. I think like this visualization which we practiced, how the master's eyes just keep thinking their love and compassion is always there, trying to draw away all the pain, all the suffering. Okay, then, yeah, so I was trying to prepare, then this was one more thing that came to this thing. I think you all would have heard the words of the Chant of Master. O devotee, I can give thee salvation, but not my love and devotion. For when I give those away, I give myself away. Ask me of salvation, but not my love and devotion. For when I give those away, I become poor, walking on your heart's way. So, Swami Kriyananda ji explained this. Divine Mother, he tells in this, Divine Mother is very conscious of you, and especially of your soul's needs. She will help you, but she will help you more if you ask from her that which she really wants to give. Yogananda ji put it in a beautiful way when he sang this beautiful chant. And in this chant, he says, the God is telling this thing that please don't ask me for my love and devotion. But the jinx is that Yoganandaji and Swamiji says that's really what we need to ask for. We should not ask for this thing, this small things or job or anything else. We need to really ask God really for love and devotion. Because then when you experience God and you have the highest of all gifts, then everything else fades away and you're taken care of. So that's the secret of this song, that each time when we pray, let's pray for God's love and devotion, or to ask us to help us develop this quality so that we can dive deep and experience God. And love is really strong force that holds this creation together. So when God is with us, and I think it's also this small quote of Saint Teresa of Lisieux, I think, I don't know how to pronounce it. She said something beautiful. I want to go to hell because I want there to be at least one person in hell who loves God. She's expressing that I want to go to hell because I want there to be at least one person in hell who loves God. So Swamiji is also referring that have that longing for devotion. If you pray for anything, pray for devotion. If Master brought anything to us, this is very interesting. So important. If Master brought anything to us above everything else, it was that love of God. If Master brought anything to us, and it was that love for God. And just maybe in simple ways, and all our techniques also helps us, our morning meditation and evening meditations, to dive deeper and to feel God as love and our chanting really helps. So along with all these things, maybe try to also do some simple activities all through the day, whatever helps you to be in this state, to be feeling this devotion. I think each time we pick up autobiography of Yogi, it just inspires us to meditate more, or to think of God more, and to just love him, love as Divine Mother. As you go to temple or places of worship, wherever you are, try to keep tuning into this quality. Okay, and I'll request Jamalji to now share on this very important topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Premdas. This reminds me that Master said the highest prayer is, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of my devotion, and may I be able to awaken thy love in all hearts. And I get this feeling when I meditate on love that, yes, number one, it's a feeling, and maybe I'll talk about that more in a second, but that I don't feel alone, that I feel connected to everyone else in the universe, that I feel taken care of. But not only do I feel taken care of, it's a feeling that I want to share, that I want everyone else to also feel taken care of. And I mean taken care of on a very deep level, on a level of knowing in the soul that everything is absolutely okay. It's beyond okay, that life itself is wonderful. Swamiji, I believe, defined love as bliss in action. And so this feeling that comes in the heart when we meditate on divine love is a feeling that life is bliss, that life is wonderful, and that it's constantly changing, it's in action, it's moving, but it's always moving towards our own highest good, that everything that's coming for us is for our own highest good. Remember that, because of course life throws us all kinds of challenges. How would we grow? How would we get stronger if life didn't give us all of these challenges? But they are for our own good. And ultimately, therefore, if you don't want to become a stronger wrestler, say, all right, God, I've had enough of this. I get it. I don't want all of this. I want you. I only want you, God. But we have to mean it. Master said you have to wish it, and wish it very well, 100%. That we can't go into meditation and say, I want only you, God, but wait, let me have this sandwich first. And then I'll come back, God, and then we'll meditate. That's not 100%, and it's all right. This happens to all of us. But we have to go and we have to look on the inside for that space where we feel that comfort, where we feel that we're beyond, I don't know, that this world can harm us at all. Master told Dr. Lewis, when you are in Om, nothing can touch you. And when we go deep within, that we go into a space where we realize that nothing could ever actually harm us, that who you truly are is one with God, the immortal soul, and that nothing can harm that. But we have to remember that, and it's not easy by any means to remember that, because we have so many likes and dislikes. What are these likes? False love. That we think, when I have this thing outside of myself, then I'll have that bliss, then I'll be happy. And it's true, but only to an extent. But when we say, I've had enough of this show, of this dance, and that we say, I want to go home now. Thank you, God, it's been fun, but I want to go home now. Then we can start to feel this true love. Master asked all of us, well, he said, when I'm gone, only love can take my place. That's something obviously to meditate on. But he also said, I want, when I'm gone, for all of you to show one another the respect and kindness that you have shown me. Basically, he was saying, see me in everyone. You see, when you love others, when you see the good in others, you see God in others. And when you think of the highest potential in others, you're actually enforcing, emphasizing the highest good within yourself, the highest human being that you can become. But if you see others as just no good and terrible, it's just a reflection of our own self. So this is the way to act with love, is to see Master in every human being, in every circumstance, and to relate to them in that way. You all know the stories of Master when having to deal with hardened criminals, of one person coming up to him with a gun, and then Master looking deeply into his eyes and transforming him, and the man dropping his gun and saying, what have you done to me? What have you done to me? I can no longer go on like that. That's true love that Master had. And this is the true love that we are all seeking. And it's worth seeking this love. It's worth turning away a little bit from false loves. I'm not telling everyone here to run away from your families, that you have to love your families and love God within your families, that this is part of the dance. You know, an interesting thing, some people think, oh, if only I was a monk, then I'd be happy. And then maybe next time they become a monk, and the entire time they think, darn, if only I would have chosen to get married, then I'd be happy. The grass is always greener on the other side, that we have to be happy right here, right now, where God's placed us. And that is a sort of love in itself, a sort of respect for God, for understanding that God knows, since we're talking about love today, God knows what she's doing, and she knows very well what she's doing. And we just have to live in that. Also, Master said that if we approach God as the mother, that we will get there faster, because the mother has that infinite love, and she feels bad about the fact that she's put us in this mess, and that we can appeal to her in that personal way and say, Mother, don't you love me? You're the one who put me in this mess. Now you have to take me out. It's those with a pure heart, really, who find God. The point in the beginning I said I might come to is that Swamiji said that feeling is the closest thing to consciousness. He said we can't actually define consciousness. It's the one thing you can't actually define. But the thing that comes closest to it is feeling. And so we have to learn how to feel deeply and sensitively. This world's a tough place, and it's probably already beaten you up pretty good, and it might beat you up some more, but don't worry about it, that you can still have an open heart, and that you can still, don't let the beatings of this world close down your heart. Keep your heart open. You can have a thick skin, and learn how to deal with the rough things in this world, that you don't have to open your, Swamiji said, don't have such an open heart that your brains fall out, that we don't have to open up our heart to every bit of nonsense in this world. But on the inside, in that still quiet place within, that we need to make sure that the petals of our lotus, that is your heart, that they're always turned up and receiving that light from God. We want to learn how to grow our heart. Do you all know what a craisin? It's like a raisin, but it's a cranberry, it's red. I had a student once and she looked at me and she said, "Your heart is like a craisin," just dried up and shriveled and bitter and small. And I don't remember what I said. I just laughed. It was funny. But somehow that visualization stuck in my mind that I don't want that. That I want my heart to be open and full of love and giving love. And that has to flow. Always remember, Master said that the channel is blessed by that which flows through it. And so we want this love to flow through us. Interestingly, Swamiji said that men should seek God, that they should be careful in trying to seek God as love. I imagine that men will get confused with that. But he said that for women, it's all right to seek God as love, but make sure that you see that as impersonal love. But for men, that they should seek God as bliss. But in the end, I know, Master wrote it in Autobiography of a Yogi, that once we get over these self-definitions of thinking that we are a man or we are a woman, because we're not, we are the soul, which is beyond all of that. Once we get over all of that, that all of the saints say God is love. And that Master wrote in the Autobiography of a Yogi that he cognized the center of the Empyrean as a point of intuitive perception in his own heart, that he cognized the center of the entire universe, you could say, as a place of intuitive perception in his own heart. And this is where God dwells. The center of the universe is right within you. No need to go buy a telescope and go out there looking for it. That if we want to think about telescopes, let's use this telescope to learn how to take our energy and dive ever deeper within, so that then we feel that unity, we feel that connectedness. I love the word kinship. We feel this kinship with all of life, and that's such a wonderful feeling. So we will keep making that. I'm going to take my last 5 minutes and we're going to explore a Swami Kriyananda song that's been just deeply with me. So let's go do that together. So we're going to start by just sharing my screen, and let's make sure I press all the right buttons, and I think that should do it. So there's a song here that Swamiji wrote called God's Call Within, and I just want to talk about the lyrics a little bit, and then the last 3 minutes or so we'll listen to it. So it's listen, listen, this whispering within our soul, the hints of laughter, this quenchless yearning for, this is why I chose it, for my love, your true home. Long your heart has played the dancer. Long you've toyed with merest shadows of the treasures left behind you, deep in your soul. Long you've plumbed the dark for answers. Long you've begged from beggars' empty hands. Gifts of life they too were seeking. Gifts none could share. Friend, how long will you wander? Friend, as long as you seek your home in a land where all are strangers, love locks her door. Leave to the weak his craven life, to the coward leave his dreaming. O my saint, wake up, reclaim the light, seek the truth behind all seeming. So as to not waste any more time, we're going to just listen to it, but I'll try to end right here. Turn, turn, turn within, in the silence of soul, in the cave of love. So let's jump over to a place where everyone is allowed to go, YouTube. And I'm leaving it this way so that you too can type in later on, Swami Kriyananda, God's Call Within, and listen to this. This song has transformed many people's lives. So this is true love. We won't listen to the whole thing. I'm going to start right here, but let's listen to some of this right now.
Long your heart has played the dancer, long you've toyed with mirrorless shadows of the treasures left behind you, deep in your soul. Long you've plumbed the dark for answers, long you've begged from beggars empty hands, gifts of life they too were seeking, gifts none could share. Friend, how long will you wander? Friend, as long as you seek your home in a land where all are strangers, love locks her door. Leave to the weak his craven life, to the coward leave his dreaming. Oh, my saint, wake up, reclaim the light, seek the truth behind all seeming. Leave to the weak his craven life, to the coward leave his dreaming. Oh, my saint, wake up, reclaim the light, seek the truth behind all seeming. Turn, turn, turn within, in silence of soul, in cave of love, find my abode.
Okay, so, oh my saint, that means you wake up and find God within yourself and find that cave of love within yourself where nothing can touch you, where you feel an infinite bliss that you want to share with everyone. So it's been a joy sharing on this topic of love this evening, and we look forward to the next